Hello everyone, my name is Qasxz, and welcome back to another episode on the Den SMP. So, right now I'm mining, but I've just watched MINECON Live, or MINECON Earth, or whatever it's called, 2019. And I'm gonna have a little discussion about what we saw and what we're excited about, and what kind of criticisms we may have. I'm gonna have that discussion with Lego in a bit. So I thought I'd just give a real quick explanation of what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna have my episodes kind of out of order. So yesterday I recorded a bit where I made well, this thing up here. I'm not gonna show it entirely because you'll have to watch what's gonna be tomorrow's episode then. But basically this is gonna be where I'm gonna mine, like my mine shafts. I'm gonna make a big hole. I'm just gonna go dig that stuff out while me and Lego have that discussion. So that's what you'll be looking at. So yeah, I'll see you guys when Logan's ready, and we'll have that discussion about MINECON Earth 2019. Alright guys, see you in a bit then.
Alright, hey guys, what's up? Back here with another video supported by Qasxz. He's here as well. So, yeah, we're gonna be talking about what went over in MINECON. So,
Good chat.
just not that that's it. That's it. Everything. It's like, all right. So I guess we can start with like what happened at the
So
the
yeah,
beginning.
during MINECON Live, I only watched part of it, and Logan watched you've watched the entire thing, right? Pre-show, full show.
Yeah, and I watched like some of the post show, but it was mostly just Q&A, so I kind of just didn't.
Yeah, post
care.
shows are usually not that interesting. They're a bit slower.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, first of all, what is your overall impression? Just give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, I guess.
Well, yeah, I honestly liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, me too. From what I saw, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it was aimed at people a bit younger than we are, but I can still appreciate like the shenanigans they're having. It's just in good fun, and it's just
Yeah.
fun to watch as well, even though it's sometimes a bit too silly.
Yeah.
So anyway, in terms of announcements, I haven't watched everything, and I got some information from you about the Nether update. But let's just talk about the Biome Votes first.
Which I was kind of upset about, but
Yeah, so for everyone that doesn't know, this year at MINECON they were gonna do a vote. The public was gonna vote which biome was gonna be updated first. They're all gonna get updated, all the ones I'm about to list, which is the Badlands or Mesa biome, the Swamp, and the Mountain biome. So you wanted the Swamp biome to win the vote, right?
Yeah. I wanted the Swamp. Yeah.
So what
I
was it
mainly
about the Swamp
liked
that
it.
really appealed to you then?
Well, I honestly like the boat chests. I know you were kind of not really for that, but I thought it would help a lot, especially going fishing and whatnot. You get whatever you need for whatever you catch while fishing, assuming that you aren't just using an AFK fish farm. So it's mainly built for like, at least I feel, built for pregame, but it's also, I felt like it could also be used for, especially when you apply it to an SMP, if we're traveling somewhere like, through the Nether hub, you can put a chest in your boat to go on the ice, and then go to where you want to go. So I feel like that's definitely somewhat helpful.
Yeah, definitely, and you'll obviously also be able to load it up with shulker boxes in the late game as well. So what you're saying about the Nether hub, there's gonna be a ton of transport just in one boat.
Yeah.
But the reason I am not really a fan of it is because it doesn't really feel like a swamp update. I mean, I guess you'll be able to find them randomly, is what I'm guessing. I don't know if they've confirmed that, but
What's that? The frogs?
no, like the
the-
minecart boat or the chest boats. I'm guessing.
No, I'm pretty
like
sure you just craft them.
From the video, it looked like they're gonna be randomly generated as well, like
Oh, really?
boat chests. Is
Oh,
what
okay.
I'm guessing. Because otherwise, why would it even be part of the swamp update? Is what I'm guessing anyway.
Yeah. Well, I guess just because
it
it had something to do
by
with.
the way.
Sure. What my guess is that it had something just primarily to do with water, so they thought they could add in a mechanic, and that was one of my biggest draws to the idea of a swamp update is the fact that as far as helpful content goes, I thought that besides adding new things that kind of have their own thing, I felt like chests and boats was content that is helpful.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, but I think, especially with the boat chest, that the helpfulness seems really high, but in reality, it's just another thing to put a chest in. And I mean, honestly, we've already got minecart chests, and what else did we have? We have donkeys as well, and whoever uses a donkey or a minecart chest or a llama, they also carry chests. And honestly, who uses those? Which is why I think that. I mean, they seem kind of interesting at first, but if you really think about it, I think they're not going to be too useful in the long term. Well, my personal preference was the mountain biome, which also won the vote, by the way, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
The reason I like the mountain biome, well, first of all, the terrain generation update they're gonna do to it sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, that does.
I mean, I'm really a big sucker for large mountains. I've got my own base here in the mountain biome, which you saw in your Nether episode as well.
Yeah.
So everyone go check that out, our Nether episode. We checked out each other's bases.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the snowier snow, at first it seems kind of annoying, right?
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, it's just another block with a very unique mechanic, which is always really nice when you're trying to build specific farms. So I don't know how and where it's going to be useful, but that snow that mobs, or at least players, I'm assuming mobs as well, will be able to drop down into and get stuck in, just seems really, really useful. I don't know, maybe you can make like a regular old mob grinder, like the standard ones for regular mobs, and instead of having water streams, you could have like snow blocks, like the snowier snow blocks in the floor, and they'll walk on it sooner than whatever other design you might have. I don't know, it just seems like whatever that mechanic is, it's gonna be really interesting to play with, especially if you're a bit more technical about what you're doing in your worlds.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a funny thing you bring up block mechanics because as far as the new honey block that's coming out,
Right, I don't know too much about that, to be honest.
basically it's like a reverse slime block, in the sense that you can get it kind of has the same, I guess, feel to it, but instead of making it bounce higher when you jump on it, you kind of get like stuck to it, and
so you can't really jump from it.
Yeah, you can only jump. I think it's like half a block or something like that. So you can't even jump over a full block with it.
Oh, that's cool, to be honest. I like that.
And furthermore, it kind of acts as like if you have a pillar of it, it'll act as like a ladder. I guess
So
I think only like going down. I don't know if you can climb up it, but what they did preview is that you can slide down it safely.
Ah.
So that might be helpful for certain things. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I guess if it affects mobs as well, if you have like a 1x1 hole with honey on all sides of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could technically still fall through the center of it, like exactly through the center, but chances are probably very slim that you won't touch the side then. So that sounds actually quite cool.
Yeah. And
again, I'm also
I know
always
it
a really
has
sucker for new mechanics like that.
Yeah, and I know it has the same mechanic when it comes to pistons as slime blocks. So
that's good. That's good. Do
yeah.
they? I mean, I'm guessing they attach to slime blocks as well, but like, how do? I mean, you've probably not played around with them, but like, how do the limits work? And
As far as the honey, I'm pretty sure you know, they didn't really go too much in depth with it as far as like what
the specific mechanics
yeah,
are.
what the specifics are.
I
But
mean, we'll have to wait for the SciCraft guys to play around with them, I guess.
Yeah, but I would imagine that it would be something similar to slime because it even has the same sound effects when like jumping on it or walking on it. So I think it's going to be something
Yeah,
that's kind of like a negative slime block or something like that. And then we also have for redstoning the new target block.
Okay.
Which looks interesting.
What's it do?
So it's it is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a block that has a target on it, and where you are, depending on how close you hit to the bullseye with, you know, a bow or a crossbow. Yeah, either of those will work. Depending on how close you hit that, will change on
the signal strength, I guess.
The signal strength of the redstone. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a more complex wooden button.
Yeah, pretty much. So instead of just one solid signal, like you can hit near the outside for a weaker signal, and then if you hit a bullseye, you get a stronger signal. As far as blocks, though, you know, I think that was mainly it. As far as new blocks that were added in, you know, I think what are going to be added in snapshots before the whole update is released. You know, just kind of, you know, throw them in there.
Yeah, I can't wait to play around with the snapshots myself.
Yeah.
Obviously, these features aren't in the snapshots yet, but I'd love to play around with those as they come out. So we'll see if we can maybe bring that to the Den SMP as well.
Yeah. And I'm really liking the whole, because they touched on a bit more about what bees do and how bees can be helpful for, say, farms. And basically, what was showcased in there is that you can have flowers next to your farms, make like a greenhouse type thing. And as the bees pick up pollen, they can drop some of it onto your crops, and it acts as like bone meal.
Right, that makes.
So I thought that was interesting.
I mean, kind of sense. It doesn't make too much sense, but I guess it's close enough.
Yeah. But it's something that could be used, like that may make bees a bit more useful than just, you know, buzzing around or harvesting honey, and you know.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes.
And it's all for 1.15, right? Or did they say some of this was? So 1.15 is actually shaping up to be quite the update then.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good, to be honest, in my opinion.
Yeah, it
anyway.
Yeah.
And there was also the bit about the Nether.
Yeah.
I haven't heard much about it, but I did hear through Discord that they were gonna add Nether biomes, which is something that I've been wanting for ages. I mean, the Nether is just so bland; it's not even funny anymore. So Nether biomes, there were 3, you said, right? They were gonna do the
basically the
Valley.
SOULSAND Valley, and then 2 different types of netherwort forests. Those are also
Netherwort forest,
including,
that's cool.
yeah, that's also including new blocks. The best way, I guess, the thing that they kind of
Are they
somewhat
gonna generate
resemble.
netherwort blocks, like the actual
Yeah,
netherwort blocks?
yeah,
Damn, people always
and
forget those are in the game.
yeah, and those and blue variants of them, but I'm not sure if those might have any effect as far as um, if it'll make like a different type of netherwort that may be used for different types of potions, possibly.
Hmm.
Because I always knew that the netherwort is used in most crafting recipes, so I don't know if this will make some like blue netherwort or if it'll just drop something completely different. But they seem to not actually be grown by netherworts, of course, but the trees themselves seems to be grown similar to
Like normal trees then, or
no, actually, mushrooms on mycelium.
right, fair enough then.
So the trees kind of look a little bit like that. Um, they obviously look a bit different, but other than that, they kind of have that type of property that they grow from like a mushroom.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure exactly where we're going to find those mushrooms, but
I'd assume in those biomes, right?
yeah, yeah, but I don't know if you'd be able to like find them otherwhere, or if you can make like a farm out of a regular
Hmm.
nether rack or something like that.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to explore outwards then,
Hmm.
once we update. Um,
Yeah, and also what I'm really liking is the how Soul Sand will now have blue fire. So
mhm.
even if you bring Soul Sand to like um, back to the overworld or whatever, and light fire on top of it, it'll be blue fire.
Yeah, that's really cool. Will the fire ever extinguish, or is it eternal fire like Netherrack?
That's a good question. They did not really elaborate on that.
I mean, I'm
Um,
assuming it's eternal fire. They have to.
yeah,
Um, it'd be such a bummer if the blue fire was only temporary.
yeah. I would imagine it would though, just because Soul Sand Valleys are supposed to naturally generate with fire on top of them, so I wouldn't see why they would naturally generate if they're just gonna, dissipate. But
Oh, right, fair enough then. Yeah. Well, that almost confirms it then, I guess.
yeah, yeah. So we'll
Uh,
see.
so yeah, what's your favorite feature that was, um, well, let's just say first announced today then.
Well, as far as what was first announced, I was really liking uh the rework of the zombie pigmen. I'm not sure necessarily. I mean, I guess the bias being is that being so used to the texture of zombie pigmen, they're going to be completely reworking that.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so they're going to look completely different. So I'm not sure exactly how I feel about those yet. They do look interesting. Um,
I haven't seen those yet, but I'll try to put a picture on the screen for my viewers.
yeah. Um, but yeah, basically, uh, there's just going to be so many different things you can do with them, in the sense that you'll be able to, gold armor will be useful now, in the sense that actually gold in general will be a bit more useful than what it used to be,
Hmm.
because first and foremost, you need gold armor to be able to, not be seen as a threat by these zombie pigmen. So now they're only non-aggressive if you're wearing gold armor.
Hmm.
But they'll attack you, I guess, if you're not wearing gold armor, and also if you open chests that are near them, which is kind of interesting, especially the
That's
fact that
interesting.
there isn't really too many chests that spawn in the regular, um, in the regular Nether itself. I don't know if that might mean that there might be more chests that just spawn naturally in the Nether.
Yeah,
Or
sounds
if
almost
that
like
means
they're
that,
gonna add dungeons, maybe.
yeah, or if maybe there will be like pigmen that spawn in nether fortresses, because I know pigmen, now they'll spawn with not only a sword, but some will spawn with crossbows, and they'll actively hunt.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they'll actively hunt wither skeletons, and I'm
Oh,
not
that's
sure
cool,
about
actually.
blazes, but yeah, so possible automated farm maybe. Um, you
I mean, it
have
sounds like they're
pigmen.
more accentuating the fact that they're big men and not just
Yeah.
a hostile mob, you know?
Yeah, well, I know another thing is they changed actually the complete spelling of it, so it's actually pigmen.
Really?
So yeah, so they're getting rid of the whole man part of it. So um, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And I know um, the pigmen will also hunt these things called pigment beasts, which kind of look like something out of a mod pack.
Hmm. I
And
mean, like villager beasts also do, but
yeah,
I
it's
guess
true.
I guess they'll look different, or are they like a
Uh,
tank-like mob, like the pillager beast is?
they look like um, they look like um, I think they're maybe a block to a block and a half tall, and then maybe like 2 blocks wide. They're
Hmm.
not really or long, 1 block wide,
I
but
mean,
they're
screenshots
not they're
will
not
be
big.
on the
Yeah,
video, of course.
yeah, but they're not like huge. So, and from what I understand, they're not really too hard to kill, but they will be hostile. They're completely hostile. So,
Hmm.
um, but
Sounds
they'll actually
interesting with
drop
all
a
these new hostile mobs.
yeah, but
Hope they'll drop
they'll
some good
actually
stuff.
drop. Yeah, they drop meat that you can eat. So
A new kind of meat, or
I'm not sure. I think so. Um, but we'll have to find that out.
because if
And
they're no longer zombie pigman or zombie whatever, it would not make sense to make them drop rotten flesh anymore.
yeah, that's true. All right, I'm back.
Stay back.
All right, so where do we leave off?
We're just talking about your favorite new announced thing, and that was the new pigmin.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so
and one of
my
my oh god,
no. So my favorite new announced thing. Um, I mean, I haven't watched the entire thing yet, of course.
yeah,
So I guess my favorite new thing would be those honey blocks.
mm-hmm.
Um, from what you've told me about them, they're gonna
Yeah,
be really useful.
especially
So
map making.
especially map making, but especially in mob traps, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
And can we sleep again, real quick?
Sure. Yeah, that's actually a really good point that you bring that up. Using with the bottom of mob, because I'm assuming that the honey will apply to mobs as well. Might be able to see, um, where, that way, like you could just put them into a 1 block deep pit and just with honey on the bottom, and they can't like jump over it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to
Yeah, or
see where
like
that goes.
for a guardian farm where you usually have water at the bottom, you could put honey blocks at the bottom instead,
Maybe
and
it'll just make them stick as opposed to like
they'll stick,
yeah.
and then eventually I think they suffocate. I'm not quite sure. But they'll
Oh,
stick, so you don't have to deal with the water running everywhere. So your redstone is going to be a lot,
happy.
a lot happier. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see how these are worked into the game as
Hmm.
far as, like you said, um, mob traps and whatnot. We could see where this will go.
Yeah. So favorite thing discussed that was not necessarily a new thing, but just your favorite thing that you've seen today.
Honestly, I was really excited about, I didn't really have an opinion on it. I didn't really do any research on it beforehand. But after seeing a cinematic clip as well as gameplay of Minecraft Dungeons, I'm really excited to see um, where that'll go. It looks like a very interesting game.
Yeah, true.
You know, I don't know if it might be something that's, you know, because we don't have a price tag on it yet. I did
Yeah.
see that. I don't know if it's gonna be like a standalone game or if it's gonna be something that's gonna be partnered with the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, or if, you know,
Looks
if
like
it'll
a
link up.
standalone thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But as you're saying, we're not quite sure at this time. So they could do anything. They could throw us for a loop.
Yeah.
But yeah, that did look cool.
Yeah.
May play it on the channel if it's decently priced. If it's too expensive, then I might skip it. It looks like one of those games. I don't know. The gameplay looks fairly generic, I think. I mean, I've never played it, but it looks like a kind of Diablo clone, or as I was saying earlier to you before we were recording, it also kind of reminds me of the Lego games in a weird way. Obviously, this game has a lot more action. It's more focused on combat, while the Lego games are more focused on puzzle games or puzzle elements and exploration.
It's more as far as, you know, because you're saying like camera angle mainly, right?
Yeah, in terms of camera angle, in terms of like controls, it looks similar as well. Like in the Lego games, you usually just spam buttons until you can interact with something, or you hit something and it gives you your money.
And I also said I kind of had like a, although I don't really necessarily play it, it did seem a little League of Legends-esque in the sense of its complexity. You know, because it looked like, you know, especially with the gameplay, it looked like there was a lot going around. But I feel like, you know, through the beginning of it, and, you know, as you warm up to it, you might start understanding what everything does, where everything goes. So what I also really liked is the one thing they said was that the maps for these are randomly generated.
Oh, I missed that part. That's actually really good.
Yeah, so it'll be something new every single time. That's almost a must,
to be honest. I mean, I'm assuming they'll have kind of a campaign mode or like a story mode, kind of like that. I'm hoping at least.
Yeah, they
but
did
it's
hint
really
at
good for
something with
replayability if they're gonna have something where it's different every time.
Yeah, they hinted at.
That's obviously. I'm sorry for interrupting you each time. That's kind of where Minecraft got its charm in the first place. I mean, at first it was just a blocky game, but as soon as we got the random maps, people really started to get interested in it. Which is obviously years ago by now, but I think that's like one of the big selling points of Minecraft as a whole, which is obviously why they're putting it in this thing right now.
Because it's something new every single time.
Yeah,
I'm on the way.
Alright, good. Guy's on his way.
And what I do like is how, you know, because you were saying something about there being a campaign.
I'm hoping at least. I haven't heard about it yet. I'm assuming it's gonna have a campaign though.
They were kind of hinting at something. Did you see the cinematic they had before they had the gameplay? Yeah, so like I feel like that little cinematic there, they kind of did some explaining that I feel like there might be something there that would hint at like a campaign or something like that. So that's definitely looking like a lot of fun. But as far as you know, since of course there was not one but two games that were announced, what was your thoughts on Minecraft Earth?
Minecraft Earth looks promising, but so did Pokemon Go.
That's true.
I don't know how much I need to elaborate on that, but Pokemon Go, we all know the concept is really good. But as soon as it launched, it had all the connection issues, so it was basically unplayable for the first 2 months. And then even once those were fixed, it was just, I mean, even to this day, it's just lacking in features. So for Minecraft Earth, my main concern is, well, Mojang is already owned by Microsoft, so I'm not really too worried about not having enough server capacity. I'm sure they've seen Pokemon Go and how that went, so I'm assuming they've got that fixed.
And how many other augmented reality games have come before that? I know there was a Walking Dead version of that. I know there was a Harry Potter version of that. I know there was a Star Wars version of that. They've got like a whole bunch of different ones that they can look at, kind of see what the mistakes were of those, and kind of fix those in Minecraft Earth. But one of the biggest selling points for me is the fact that it isn't so much about finding something and then doing something. You go around and you collect stuff, and you can bring it to like, one of those pad ports or whatever, and you can build your own thing, which gives it like, the Minecrafty effect, I guess.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
That and raids and whatnot is kind of alludes to some of the, like, I think they called it raids, right? They were like, you can team up with a couple of people, and then you go through.
Yeah, where they found the puzzly area, right?
Yeah, the puzzle thing with the flowers and whatnot. Now I don't know how, because I don't know how randomly generated that'll be, in the sense that, will they all be, like that and like 5 others or something like that, different puzzles to go from. I mean, I know it can't be infinite, but I mean, it might get boring knowing exactly what's going to happen. But I do like,
And they could have an infinite number of different possible puzzles if they really wanted to. But no matter what the puzzles are going to be, as you say, there are probably not going to be a lot of different types of puzzles. So the reason for that is just because Minecraft is a lot more aimed towards younger people. Which, I mean, some of them are really good at puzzles, but most of them just aren't that good or that into puzzles to begin with. So hitting them with puzzles all the time wouldn't be the best idea. But yeah, I'm really excited either way. It just seems like something that's just fun to do every once in a while. But yeah, the main thing I'm concerned about is if all the features they're promising right now are going to be in the game. And one of the points that you brought up earlier was that you'll be able to bring things to your home and be able to play there. So that's actually a really good evolution of the Pokemon Go idea, because obviously Pokemon Go, if you're not in a big city or something like that, you're basically out of luck. You can play it, but you'll almost have to go around by car to go to the Pokestops.
I know that's pretty much what happened. Because I played Pokemon Go for a little while, and I live in a really, really rural area, and from my house there's no Pokestops that can be seen. Zero, absolutely none. So I'd have to actually drive into town and then play there, and that was fine for like some amount of time, and then it got to the point where it was just, there was no point in playing it anymore. So hopefully what it looks like is that with Minecraft Earth, they're not really they don't really seem to be so focused on going to certain areas, that Pokestops, they were never randomly generated in areas where you'd go and it'd just be, oh, this is just a empty field. You collect the Pokestop. You actually had to go to something. So if you're living in the rural area, aforementioned, there wasn't really much to see, so therefore there wouldn't be that many Pokestops or gems. But what it looks like with Minecraft Earth, and I saw some stuff even before, you know, today, and seeing the MINECON, but you know, I saw features that were saying that even though the materials that you find is kind of like biome specific, so people that live in colder areas might find different types of blocks as someone that might live in warmer areas. And I
Oh,
think
that's
that
cool.
does change seasonally. So like if it's warmer out, you might find you know, I guess if it's warmer or whatever, you're near the beach, you might find more sand blocks as opposed to if you live like in the mountains or something like that, you might find, you know, stone or snow or something like that. I don't know. This is just speculations of my own accord, so there isn't really much to go off of. But
Yeah.
But hopefully what we'll see is that you don't have to go really far to play the game. You don't have to go out of your way. You can just open it up and be like, oh, that, you know, I see something out there, walk out of your house, you know, down the road a little bit, collect it, come on back, and then start building with whatever you find. So
Yeah.
I do like that aspect of it, that you don't actually have to be in an extremely populated area in order to play at its full potential. Even though I know Mojang, they had a couple of testing locations for their game, and it was in 6 cities, I believe.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, I think there was only like one in the United States, which was Seattle, I want to say. But and then I think other ones were like Tokyo or something like that. There's another one in China. There's another one in the in Europe. I wasn't sure exactly where it was. I think there was one in Australia, but you know, but mainly they were extremely populated areas. So you know, maybe you might find more resources around populated areas, which is
Yeah,
fine.
that's what I'm assuming. Like there'll be
Yeah.
some advantage to living in a rural or in a populated area, but it sounds like it won't be required.
Yeah.
Although
And
coming back
that's
to Pokemon Go, in Pokemon Go's defense, they did add a whole load of Pokestops over the last 2 years. I don't know if you've recently opened the app, but
nah.
back in the day, I could see exactly one Pokestop from my house. Right now, it's I think 10 or so.
Yeah.
So in Pokemon Go's defense, they are making steps towards improving the game.
Yeah.
But they're far from finished, of course.
Yeah. So hopefully we can see Minecraft Earth finding these mistakes in Pokemon Go and, you know, fixing them in with Minecraft Earth. You know, but we can only hope. I know I'm already pre-registered for it, so as soon as it drops publicly, I'll have it, and
Yeah,
you know,
same.
maybe might even make a video explaining as far as, you know, how I liked it and whatnot. But
Yeah, I mean you can get a pretty easy screen recorder for your phone as well. If you want to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Minecraft Earth looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, it wasn't my favorite thing. I'm really just mostly excited about the things that are actually coming to the game that I'm already playing.
Yeah.
I usually get pretty skeptical of new games at first, and then I'll warm up to them once they're closer to release, once we know more features of them, and once I'm actually more confident in that what the company is doing is actually gonna be good. Because as we said, there's just some concerns with these kinds of games which they just always make a couple of mistakes.
Yeah. And it'll naturally have some mistakes, especially in the very beginning of.
I mean, yeah. I'm not saying that I expect nothing less than perfection from any new game that I buy. I'm just saying that I'm worried, and if there's too many mistakes that I really disagree with, that I then may decide it's not worth the effort, or it's not worth looking into anymore.
Yeah.
But for now, it looks cool. I'll keep an eye open. I'll definitely try it if it's free, but if it's paid, then I'll wait for the reviews to come in. All right, so I think we said enough about Minecraft Earth then.
Yeah.
So we were talking about ages ago, like what your favorite thing of the presentation was.
Mm.
And as I briefly mentioned, my favorite thing was just all of the things coming to Minecraft itself, to both the Java edition and the Bedrock edition. I mean, Bedrock edition is going to have a ton more features that we're not getting, which also look quite cool.
Yeah, like scripting and whatnot.
Some of it is things that we've had for ages.
Yeah, so
yeah.
And I know especially in certain I think it's added to one of the snapshots actually, as far as finally Bedrock or Java players being able to set their spawn during the daytime, so they won't need to wait till night. They just need to click on their bed and that'll set their spawn. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice. So yeah, as I said, my favorite new feature is honey blocks, but my favorite feature I think is the snowier snow actually. The more that I think about it, the more that I really, I mean, as I said, I'm not 100% sure about how we're gonna implement them into our mob farms or other different kinds of farms. But it's just such a unique mechanic that that is bound to be useful somehow. Yeah, I mean, there's so many mechanics that just go overlooked for sometimes years, and then eventually someone will just do something with it, and people discover that they're actually really useful.
Yeah, like I remember when slime blocks were added, everyone was like, "Oh, that's cool. I guess you can bounce on them and whatnot." And now we have flying machines, so we've seen how something that we might see as very minuscule as far as content wise, we can see where that can actually bring us.
I mean, yeah, but the example that you bring up, slime blocks, that was actually a feature that wasn't added when slime blocks were first introduced, of course. A feature that comes to mind earlier to me, or other, would be piston quasi-connectivity, which isn't in Bedrock Edition. But for years, people were struggling with it, trying to understand how it worked and stuff like that. And then eventually came along a YouTuber, and he invented the fact that you can update or detect when a block updates. For years, people weren't able to do that. And well, people started being able to do that, and eventually Mojang just gave in and gave us absorber blocks instead, because it was just a bit, I don't know, not the most elegant solution to checking if a block is updated. But yeah, in general, I'm just really excited. 1.15 is starting to shape up like a really good update. All the features look cool. There's like a ton of new features, so that's always cool. And I'm just excited to play around with it, as always.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what stems from the content that'll be released in 1.15. Especially with what's going on in the Nether and seeing how that's going to work. I do feel cool. that gold ore is going to be a lot more valuable, and I know even though the Badlands lost the vote, they're going to become a bit more important, especially when it comes to actually finding gold. So
yeah, actually, the Badlands lost the vote, but I'm really, I really don't dislike the Badlands. They actually look pretty cool. As I said, in terms of blocks with new features, the cactus we're not sure about the mechanics of the cactus yet, but it does look cool, and the way it grows looks cool.
Yeah. Well, I know
And as
with
they confirmed in MINECON Earth, which they didn't really make clear in the video, is that the vultures don't actually steal loot, but they are just attracted to it.
yeah.
Which is kind of odd to me that they had it that obscure for the longest time.
Yeah.
But whatever.
And I know another thing is another thing with the cactuses, as you mentioned, their flowers that they were going to drop were going to be edible, and I know there was some people talking about. I don't know if this was directly from Mojang as far as what their idea with this was, because I know I saw it in another video, and I don't know how reliable the information was, or if it was just them experimenting with, what features like that could be used for. And he was making a spiky bouquet is what the item was called, and it basically acted as it was basically made it so instead of enchanting your armor with thorns, you can hold that in your offhand, and if you get hit by something, whatever hit you would take damage as well. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah. So
I mean, as we've experienced through the ages, I mean, new blocks are always nice, but as soon as we get new blocks with actual new mechanics, that's when our creativity is at the max, we do so much new things with actual new mechanics. I'm really excited for all those things.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
So, is there anything else you want to say? Because I think we've had most things discussed.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything that was in MINECON 2019.
So yeah, guys, tell us what you guys are most excited about, and also, I don't know, just to rile the comments up a bit, tell us something that you absolutely hate, that you really, really disagree with, or something that you find baffling that they haven't done yet. Maybe you're really angry that they haven't done a cave update yet.
Well, that would be everyone.
That's everyone, of course.
Yeah, I know there was even
let's talk about those vertical slabs for a second.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Mojang did come out and say that they aren't doing that, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking about it.
No, I know, but I mean, I don't. I'm kind of sad about the whole. I would have liked vertical slabs, or I would have liked combination slabs, like putting like a cobblestone slab on top of a wood slab or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
okay. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you guys have enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit it with a like, subscribe, check out Logan's perspective. If you're on Logan's video, check out my perspective. Link should be in the description. Stay hydrated, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.
Alright.
You're not gonna say bye?
Oh, peace.
It's fine. You don't have to say bye. I don't know. The viewers don't care about you anyway. They only
Can I
care
say
about me.
hi? Yeah, that's true.
Hi.